Good evening, everybody. So sorry for the horrible voice. I've been pretty sick throughout the weekend. So I know I shouldn't be recording because of how bad my voice is right now. Really, really sorry for that. That's the most I can do. But I want to do a quick video on the whole Jessica and King Cobra. I did had a different video planned now, but I kind of decided to scrap that. I still have the audio for it, but I'm gonna scrap it because I want to talk about Jessica's Facebook posts. And if you don't know, Jessica's Facebook is public. Anyone can find it. Same for King Cobra. But I know some people say, "Oh, you're doxing." I'm like, it's already out there in public. Like the information is there. I'm pretty sure Jessica and Cobra had posted it numbers of times. So it's one of those things where you really can't be ignorant about. But in the post, it's just her kind of like I would say kind of scheduled posting. There were some things she posted that it obviously against Facebook TOS, which was pretty funny, and it was her kind of gaslighting King Cobra. Um, what I think is just sort of the beginning of a new arc. I believe Smokey and Kiwi Tape both said that this probably begin of a new arc or a new saga between the two of them. I kind of think the same way as well, but maybe from a different perspective because I see it as being something that's only gonna last for a couple days at the most, rather than like weeks on end. Um, and you may be asking, why do I say weeks and not like, or really days, not weeks? I kind of say that because Jessica is not very confident. She's a very much like incompetent person. Like if you look at Jaws, and no offense really toward Jaws, I like his stuff a lot of the time, but it's very much like they're both very incompetent in what they're trying to do, and Jessica basically being a drunk like 99% of the time does not help her case. Like most heavy alcoholics, for the most part, are not very competent people, and a lot of the time don't really function without some liquor. If you ever seen like Jessica and Jaws, half the time they're just alcoholics and drunk out of their mind. So for me, it's just like whatever. It's probably won't last for like a couple days, but I could be wrong. I could be very, very wrong. But just from what I can see already and how much has been covered, I think it's already dead by arrival. So take that as it is. But these Facebook posts are kind of pretty wild on hand because as I said, I had a different video already recorded. I didn't get it edited. I just did the voice and everything. Um, but as things happened, Jessica started to go all out on Jaws, right? Just very, very small stuff. Um, just about him, like, his feet are swollen, I guess. He's having, like, liver and bloating problem from alcohol he's been consuming, which is, like, yeah, that makes about sense. Uh, if you think about it. I mean, if you're drinking constantly all the time, you're gonna have issues. She also mentioned about his dad, which is like I don't know why you want to mention his dad, but I guess he's trying to hit him at all angles because his dad, it's like kind of important to the whole Cobra lore and everything, saying that he hides behind his dad, which is true, um, which is very much true. Apparently, his dad unblocked him. No, his dad unblocked her and spying and all that stuff. I'm like, I can see why because you know he has the same woman that like kicked him out of his whole apartment. It's like she also brings up the cleaning his fridge. That was horrible. I'm like, what do you expect? Same thing with him being, his cooking. But I think I want to do a video on his cooking because you know that would be really fun. The only reason I would do a video on his cooking because I kind of relate with him because like not to the extent of like how he cooks, but I kind of relate to his whole cooking thing because I don't really follow like a cookbook. I kind of just go with the vibe and go with the feel. Like I just how I am as a person. I could learn how to cook, which I have over the years, but sometimes when you're just tired from work or you're coming from the gym, You just make something. You don't care what it is. You just put something together and that builds you up. Or with your, or with your family, they just make a bunch of stuff together. Like your family would make rice and beans and meat or whatever, and you're just like, I'm just gonna use all of this to make a recipe because I just don't have the energy. There's also kind of e-begging, which is hilarious, very very hilarious, and then a bunch of other stuff that I like are just miscellaneous stuff. Sorry, sorry for that. A lot of it's like a bunch of miscellaneous stuff that doesn't really matter or gonna impact them that much. Um, which is like at this point, all I would say is like Josh should have never dated Jessica, but I understand that when you're in a dry spell like that, you take whatever you can get, especially how old he is. And I think in one of his videos he mentioned that I'll just rather date somebody younger and around my area. Wasn't like no offense, Josh, but like, oh, oh, oh God, that's a like, ooh, like, I, you know what I'm, you know what I'm meaning by that, like because like Josh is famous for the wrong reason, but he's famous for good and bad. But I think all of it is gonna be overblown. I think people really want this to be more like a Christian situation where it overblows itself up, or I mean overblown. Wow, I'm sorry, I'm very very sick right now, so give me a little break. But in the end, I think that this will go somewhere for a couple days or a couple weeks. We'll get a couple lows, but I think given this, he's very incompetent and how obviously he gets drunk and she's trying to be a lolcow in herself. I don't really see this working out. I think it's just gonna be something that just happens and just goes away, and that's about it. I know most people want this to be something bigger, something more. It won't. It just won't. I could be wrong, and maybe I will be wrong, and that's fine. But just given these two and their history, they're just both very incompetent, and I don't see much really happening besides that. But you never know. This could be something a lot more interesting, a lot more that would drag out, or it just will just be dead, and that's fine. Maybe because I also sympathize with Joss a lot, or or relate and feel with him with some things. And I think that's why a lot of people do. They relate with Jaws. But this isn't really about a case for Jaws. This is about him and Jessica. In the end, she's a nutcase, and she just it just won't let us go. And so I think in the end, we just enjoy the ride. I hope Jaws doesn't do anything, or hope there isn't anything that is um, that won't that would bring him down. I know there was this whole thing about him abusing her, but like at the same time, I guess we need to know about his side of the story. I don't know, because I could also see it. She hit him a number of times, so it ended up him hitting her. But then again, he's autistic, and autistic people are very prone to intense anger. If not, they just keep it inside. So I don't know what's but that's all. Um, until then, y'all, have a good one.